CozyTalk. 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 Boom. All right. What is up, Internet? Hello, YouTube world. Welcome back to another episode of CozyTalk. This is episode 3. And my God, I am excited today because we are here talking to just the emo legend, man. The
second
myth,
wave.
the second wave, the poster boy of the 2010s scene YouTube world, which was a very strange time in culture.
Shit, Dan, that's kind of there's a lot.
There's a lot I want to get in. Get into you with about that time because I kind of watched it from the sidelines. For anyone who doesn't know, Johnny he's a musician, but he's also a YouTuber. He's been in the YouTube game for quite a long time now.
7 years.
7 years. And he was a part of the My Digital Escape thing, which is, as far as I know, probably the biggest scene YouTube collab channel or whatever that's ever existed. He was BryanStars right-hand man for a little bit when he was 17, which is crazy.
Kind of weird,
And here we are today, several years removed from Johnny's foray into the stardom of the YouTube scene world, whatever you want to call it. And man, I just kind of wanted to get you on here and
discuss everything.
Totally. I kind of want to go through everything chronologically and just kind of pick your brain about how, what you went, you went through a lot. And I just want to pick your brain about how you feel a lot about that stuff now. And
I would love to have my brain picked about it.
Let's fucking do it, man. I'm so excited. Nice. So I guess to start off, we were just kind of talking about this before the cameras were rolling, so to speak, but I want to take things back to, right before. So what year did you started doing YouTube? Was it 2012, 2013?
Yeah. So I actually I started doing the website YouNow.
Okay.
I was kind of doing that and I was live streaming.
Before YouTube.
Before YouTube. Yeah. And I was 15 or 14, just dabbling. And because of that, people like Damon and D-Fizzy and BryanStars were doing those, all the alternative YouTubers back in the day. So they kind of noticed me because I was actually able to get viewers off that for some reason because of that just being I don't know, alternative was hip then. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
And, and it was easy because he just did challenges. So it was whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. So then after that, though, I got into YouTube. I started dabbling with it on an old channel. And then a little bit. I mean, honestly, I don't think it was until I met Brian that I really started the channel that everyone knows me for now.
Totally. And one question I had about sort of that era, obviously you're 14 or whatever at the time. What exactly made you want to start doing that specifically, sort of being an online content creator or whatever? Because, as someone who does YouTube myself, I always find it really interesting, how somebody gets the, sort of
interest.
the interest and then the sort of the oomph to let me put myself out there. Were you just inspired by other people, doing it?
Yeah, hugely. Yeah, hugely. It was pretty much, it was people like Damon, Brian, and all this alternative people that I would watch, even Shane Dawson back in the day and stuff.
Totally,
and then it was, musicians though. I didn't know, I never knew what I wanted to do. And I was never the brightest kid in school, but I listened to raw artists, Never Shot Never. And then I was into Panic! The Disco. And I was I don't know, maybe if I'll figure out my stuff, but I'll just put myself out there for being me. And maybe, I don't know.
Right, totally. But it wasn't really I want to be in a band. You were just I just want to kind of just make some shit online, see what happens.
I wanted to be able to I don't know, just kind of have a fan base and what they had, the YouTubers that I was watching. But I always was interested in music as well, so that just kind of came over time as well.
Totally, yeah, because that was also that was kind of another interesting aspect is like when you were kind of getting into it, this was like a couple years after like MySpace had kind of died. And this is a big thing that interests me about your whole kind of career and like, you know, when your like YouTube stardom was going on or whatever.
Yeah.
It was a weird time in the scene because, you know, like I just said, it was post.
People were acting like it died.
Yeah, because MySpace.
I feel like they've been acting like that for the last 10 years. But
yeah. People still, right, exactly. But it was like post MySpace, all the sort of OG scene kids who were on MySpace in the late 2000s had kind of grown up, and there was kind of this new wave of it that definitely wasn't as like big or like maybe culture. It wasn't. I feel like at that time, starting around 2012 or 2013, it was like, you know, kids at the mall still listened to like Sleeping with Sirens or whatever, but it wasn't like as culturally huge as it was maybe like 3 or 4 years prior, right? So
yeah,
was it almost like difficult getting into it because it was like, I don't think it even was dying, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't think it was like difficult to get into because it was so natural. Like I just stumbled upon these artists, and then once you stumble upon one, you're like, holy shit, there's this whole world of musicians. And then you find out about what a Warped Tour was, and you know, alternate press was still like a big thing back then. Actually, the magazines, I had the magazines everywhere on my walls and stuff. And that was huge. And it really was just like one YouTuber led to another in that world, and another one led to another band, and I was able to find so many people that I connected with and was like really into. It felt so natural.
Right. Because, you know, that's actually, I actually just realized that's kind of another aspect of it is like, you know, the YouTube culture itself was at that time getting like bigger and more legit than it ever had.
Yeah.
That was kind of the point where people, like, you had like whatever, like 5th graders being like, I want to be a YouTuber when I grow up.
There was like Ray William Johnson popping, and Smosh was like, you know, people knew what that was now, and Shane Dawson, all the top guys, you know, they were like, oh, okay. So I mean, YouTube was like, oh, people, like if I brought it up to my mom or whatever, like, oh, I watched, you know, Dave Days on YouTube or whatever, she was like, oh, okay, she like figured it out, surprisingly.
Right, that's cool. So you're doing you now, you know, you're kind of gaining a little bit of a fan base on there. You start your own channel. So I want to lead into kind of you starting YouTube into meeting
Brian and everything.
Yeah, because I went all the way back on your channel in preparation for this. Not to embarrass you, but I was doing a deep dive.
My Never Shall Never cosplay.
Oh yeah, man. All that. Well, the thing that the interesting thing for me is like the first videos on your channel. I'm sure there's probably maybe stuff privated on there, but the first ones are like,
not really. That's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it. Because the first videos on your channel, it's like there's like a vlog of you and Brian, and then like videos of you and him doing like the cinnamon challenge or whatever.
Yeah, like 3 of them.
So how did you meet him, and how did that partnership start?
Yeah, weird, right? It kind of became a partnership.
Y'all were like a team.
A duo, Drake and Josh kind of shit. Yeah,
for real.
Okay, so I went to the second BryanStars tour as a fan. It was before that, the only shows I went to were Never Shout Never, his Indigo tour, and then the Ready Set when he came out with like Give Me Your Hand. Those were my first 2 shows.
Oh wow, shit. That's really cool.
Good shit. and then I went to the BryanStars tour, and Damon D Fizzy was on that tour, and he knew who I was, and was talking about like how he was going to see me because he knew of me because of You Now, the website, because I had viewers on there, and like we did the same kind of like, you know, I wasn't to his stature, but I was, you know, a fan doing it.
Yeah, you were like coming up, right?
Yeah, I was like, you know, like a fan that was like, you would notice getting followers from it, like in the same world, and you're like, oh, cool.
Right.
So yeah, and then because of that, it kind of that whole tour happened. I went to the BryanStars second tour, and Brian just for some reason took an Instagram photo with me and promoted me on his thing, and was like, I think he saw that like I was trying to be like Never Shall Never as a kid, and I was super into that, and he was like, I mean, everyone says it was very a money thing, it sounded like, And for me though, I was like just like a kid that was wanting to be a part of like a YouTube circle and was like young
Totally.
and excited.
Yeah,
So
and that's kind of a big aspect of this that I also want to get into, because I feel like I was a big fan of
yeah,
BryanStars as a youngin, as any like scene kid
hell yeah,
our age at the time was, you know, and
definitely.
I found him kind of like right when he was just starting, like you know, because I don't know, like I was a big fan of him, and I watched him, you know, kind of turn from this
Interviewer personality.
yeah, because well, when at first I felt like he had a really genuine thing going at first.
Mm.
I don't know if you just like at
Oh
first it was
yeah,
like
yeah,
he's this you know, small town guy, clearly from Nebraska. He's the most Nebraskan looking
yeah,
motherfucker ever,
absolutely.
and like he's wearing this, you know, everyone knows he's wearing the Aeropostale shirt. He's
I,
interviewing like Blackville
I
brides.
think
It's funny.
I
I think
think like it changed because he it started off he had no initiative to do it. He got into it because he was like, why not?
yeah,
And then it
he was
became
like
something more than that.
yeah, because he was like studying to be a journalist, or he
Mhm.
wanted to be like a something like that.
News
And
journalist thing, yeah.
yeah, and I feel like just remembering back as a fan who followed him, once you started appearing in his
It
videos,
changed
that was kind of like the beginning, because he still
of the
had the
end of
short
that, yeah.
hair. He wasn't like, yeah, but exactly. I feel like that was kind of like the beginning of the shift.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I mean, you know, looking back now, I don't know, like, it almost seems like at that point, Bryan looked at you and just
As an
saw
escape
dollar
route.
signs.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like he looked at you and he was like, yo, I'm going to make
I
so
mean,
much
that's what I've
fucking
heard,
money off
yeah.
this kid. I don't know if that's true. And like, maybe
That's what
he
I've
was,
heard.
yeah. And maybe there's an aspect where he was still kind of genuine at the
Yeah.
time, first when you came around, and just sort of him, you know, being involved with all those like young scene YouTubers made him be,
Absolutely, yeah.
where, you know, this is almost, actually, this is almost jumping ahead too far. I want to get into all that in a
Okay.
second, but before all the Bryan shit, the crazy Bryan shit rather,
Mhm.
you know, you link up with him,
Yeah.
and you, am I wrong in saying that you started living with him at
Yeah, I
that
totally
time?
did.
And you were
Yeah.
like 17?
16.
Whoa. Okay, so how the fuck, when I was 16, if I told
Yeah.
my parents,
Yeah.
yo, there's this guy on YouTube, his name is
Yeah.
BryanStars, he lives in Nebraska, he, like, I'm gonna go live with him, they would have
Mhm.
been like, dude, that's an interesting
Absolutely.
idea, but absolutely no
Fuck no,
fucking way.
yeah.
You're finishing school, and I don't know what the fuck this is.
Absolutely.
This guy's probably fucking, you know. So
Yeah.
how did that happen?
So after the second show, I kind of either, I don't know, I eventually got his number to like, you know, just, I don't know why, but
Yeah.
he was doing a third BryanStars tour, and I really wanted to just like get out of my house. I was like young, and so he let me be the merch guy for that tour, which I didn't
word.
do a good job at, but because I was like,
well, yeah, because you were like fucking
15,
15.
16.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I still don't know. I still wouldn't be able to do that, man.
Oh
Math
yeah,
is not.
I was just on the tour to be on the tour practically.
Yeah. Right.
But the reason why I was able to do that is because I have a really supportive mom, and around when I was like 13 or 12, I don't remember exactly how old, my dad passed away, and I got really depressed, and I was going through it, and with that, you know, my mom just wanted to see me happy and stuff, and I was like never wanting to go to school. I was always having a fit. I was always getting into the self-harm world and all that stuff.
Right.
So because of that, though, my mom just wanted to see me happy, and she back then with like people, you didn't really think about that stigma of like, oh, it's creepy for an adult to live with a minor, kind of shit like that.
Totally. Yeah.
It was totally different, which is weird.
Yeah. It seems
Because
like
nowadays we have so many bad cases of things that are out there publicly that we hear about.
Yeah,
So
there's
it's
things
like,
you can point to and be like, well,
Yeah.
this
Like,
happened to
fuck
this
no.
guy. Yeah, and so I guess like at the end of the day, it was just kind of a unique situation for you, right? It was just kind of like, it just, I don't know.
Yeah,
it was just a.
I was starting to film like after the tour, the third tour, which I did merch for. I was starting to film some of his interviews with him as like just his friend.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird to become friends with a 16-year-old anyways.
How
in
old
my
was
opinion.
How old was he at the time?
He had to be like 23, I would assume, at least.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's like if you now hooked up with some like, I don't know, TikTok kid who's like 16
maybe
and
it's
you're
just,
like,
yeah,
you know?
and maybe it was just the time back then, I guess. I don't know, but
yeah. And also Brian was kind of a weird guy. Like I feel like it's almost, and you can like correct me if I'm wrong about any of this, but it's almost like not as weird because I feel like he was the type of dude that didn't have a lot of friends growing up anyway, and he was kind of already a little bit maladjusted socially. So maybe that's just how I kind of saw it. So maybe him, it didn't.
Just wasn't weird. Like it wasn't like supposed, like there was nothing like weird about it really.
Yeah.
Like nowadays you would see it and you'd be like, oh, that, like, no. But
yeah, like
back then it wasn't really thought of like that. It was just
right.
like, oh, we're just friends. And
right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And with that though, we hung out. I remember I filmed some of his interviews at this thing called South by So What, I think it is, or South by
South by Southwest. I think they have a couple
South by
different
Southwest,
ones
the Texas
those.
one, and then it kind of got to the point where I was just like really wanted to do YouTube, and I was really not happy with school, and my mom just like I was really struggling mentally, and it kind of led to my mom allowing me to move in with Brian to start my YouTube career. That's literally how it was kind of brought up. Like,
so for
and it kind of was that we were like I moved to Nebraska and made my YouTube channel with him and started going for it.
So almost like for your mom and your whole situation, like almost for her, it was like, oh, this seems like he's like miserable in school.
Yeah.
There's a real opportunity here with a real guy. Like this is a good, you know, that's interesting.
Absolutely.
Man. That's really
sad.
Cool.
It's kind of sad, but it's cool.
I think, man, I think that's cool. Cause, like, there's a lot of other parents out there who probably would have been like, no fucking way, dude, or whatever.
Yeah, I think it was like it was a desperate kind of attempt too. I was really struggling, so it what's that? I really need water. Could I get water?
Dude, go ahead, man. Yeah.
Okay, I'll be back in like
do it up. No worries.
There you go. Sorry, I was losing my voice for so long. I was like,
hydration is essential, man. I feel like
I ripped my vape before this, and I was like, oh, and then it hit me. I was like, oh shit.
Nice. What are you puffing on there?
Just CBD of some sort. I don't know.
That's what's up.
Yeah. So, should we just continue from that though?
Sure. Yeah. Did you have anything else about that specific thing, or because I had kind of a. I have my next.
I think that was pretty good. That was a good point.
Yeah. So you're in this cool situation, or maybe like you're in like a not cool situation that turned into a cool situation.
Yeah, exactly.
So then from there, like, I guess the first thing I kind of want to get into is you link up with Brian, you two start doing videos together. And this is still kind of before Brian was like, before he became like
a personality.
Yeah, he was still like the interview guy, but he was doing like videos on your channel with you. And I think you had like a Brian and Johnny like
TV show kind of thing. Yeah. Of some sort. Yeah.
And I guess
show.
Yeah, right. Which
really.
Yeah, right. I watched some of that, by the way. I thought it was funny. So one thing that I have been wondering, and that I've always kind of wondered about you in that situation at the time, is so you're definitely building up just through kind of being Brian's like right hand man. You're kind of building up this clout of your own, so to speak, and all of a sudden like kids know who you are. And like you said, you would go to shows with Brian that he was interviewing and like film and help him out or whatever. And like not only do you like people start recognizing you being like Johnny, but so there's that, but also you're like 16, 17, and all of a sudden you're like meeting all the top Warped Tour. You're hanging out with Kellen Quinn, Danny Mooresnop, Christopher Drew, all these people who I'm
before I even honestly knew what those people like meant for real. Like I didn't
really
like to me those, like it didn't really Oh, sorry, I'm
Sorry,
talking
no,
over you.
yeah, it's all good. No, sorry, but
No.
like, were those people like idols for you at the time, or like, how was that experience for you? Kind of being like, because I guess the way I look at, sorry, I'm like rambling, but the way I look at it is like you were living like the teenage scene
Yeah.
dream at the time. I would have killed to fucking do what you were doing at the time. I think, on the
Yeah.
surface at least, like, oh, he's hanging
Yeah.
out with fucking Andy Biersack and all these
It
people.
kind of was like that, yeah, a little bit to an
Did it
extent.
how did that feel to you? I guess like the just that whole whirlwind of suddenly you're in this like legit world, and
It was hard to grasp because a lot of those artists, like there was very few that I actually listened to at that point. Like I had my two like favorites practically or so in that scene, which was like the Ready Set and Never Shall Never.
yeah.
And then so when I was hanging out with Kellen Quinn, yeah, I knew who he was and stuff, but I wasn't super like fanboy of him or like, knew of his music
Interesting.
that much at that
Yeah.
point. And same with Get Scared, of Mice and Men, all these bands that, are super, they have huge legacies.
Right, right,
Um, but I was meeting these bands all the time at that
right.
point, and
Was
it
it
just kind of became more rapid, if anything.
yeah, was it cool? I mean, I'm sure it was cool.
It was cool, but I didn't really I
Cuz
never thought about it too much, I guess.
because another thing that I kind of almost wanted to ask you about that time was like, so, you're starting to get your own fans, you're hanging out with all these bands, but you're almost not, you're still just, you were just almost exclusively known for being like BryanStars' friend.
Yeah.
Was that kind of a thing that made it weird in terms of like, oh, this is all happening to me, but it's not like, oh, it's my thing. It's like I'm just kind of involved in this other guy's thing. Was that weird? You know what I mean?
It kind
Or
of well, I kind of did get like back then it was like I was getting a pretty good amount of likes on like photos because of that,
yeah,
and
yeah,
for like being just Brian's friend, and it was I kind of felt like it was like, okay, now we're kind of a duo.
right,
Um
right.
but it was like, okay, this is like his team though. It's like Mr. Beast with like his like, three friends that are always around. That's kind of
Yeah,
what I would
yeah,
compare it to. But,
right. Yeah.
um,
Team 10.
yeah, Team 10. Well, that's not until MDE, but yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Right, right. We're getting there. We're getting
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, no, it was okay though. It was weird to meet all these bands though, and I just it got really, it was just kind of normal for me at that point. I mean, I was really young. I kind of
Yeah,
like, I thought it was just like, okay, like I didn't realize how big those bands were back then, I guess. And I didn't realize
totally.
how many people were actually watching Brian's stuff. And
Yeah.
eventually when I did go on Warped Tour and stuff, I didn't realize what that was necessarily until I had to
Interesting.
live with it, because I was so
Right.
young. I just didn't get it.
Yeah, because you already, I guess, got into like scene stuff in general kind of a little bit later than, you
When I was
know,
like, yeah, 12 or something.
yeah. So what else were you listening to at that time though, besides like Never Shout Never and the Ready Set?
Um, it was a lot of Panic! At the Disco's like early albums.
Yeah.
I was hugely into those, and
Nice.
those were literally those three bands. Like, I mean, I also did like Blow on the Dance Floor at that point. I was into that, and I don't know.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
honestly,
Right.
that was like the 303, Hollywood Undead. Like,
Okay. Right
I kind of
on.
like a little bit everywhere, but yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. So you were definitely
yeah,
definitely all that stuff was in the super like raw XD category,
yeah,
but like the actual one when the original
electronic
shit.
era.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right, right. Um man, so I guess moving forward from that, I guess this is when we do start getting into like the
Warped
changing.
Tour.
Yeah,
Or
oh, Warp Tour. Okay. Okay, so getting back to it, I guess, so I still want to, go in kind of a chronological order. So at this point, it's like maybe 2014 or so.
yeah,
And this is the year, I don't think Brian had seen hair yet,
no,
but I believe that was when My Digital Escape started, right?
2014.
2014, or
Well,
at least I think that was when Brian was like I'm gonna stop doing interviews and become like a
More of a
YouTube
personality.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a vlogger or
Yeah. Well, I think another thing that really impacted Brian wanting to become a personality as well is he wanted to be kind of famous, I remember. And he would see like D Fizzy and Seer on the BryanStars tour as YouTubers, and he was like, that's so much easier than going and he was kind of over the interviewing bands things from what I was told.
Yeah.
He was burnt out on it. And
As you would expect, he did a shit ton of those for years.
Yeah. And so that kind of contributed. And then also just, of course, when I became into his life, it became easier to shift into that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what were you asking? Sorry.
I guess I wanted to know, like, because at this time you're obviously still like a kid, and in your eyes he's like your friend.
Mm-hmm.
Did you notice any like changes in him as a person around this time, like when he started kind of changing into that, wanting to be a personality and whatnot?
Yeah, kind of actually. Yeah, kind of just more so that he wanted people to want to meet him more so, like a famous thing as well.
Yeah.
On top of like, I saw like I just saw the money side of him a lot more as well.
Right.
But like that kind of became the norm because like, that's just how he was always talking at that point. But yeah, I mean, he's a very money person, and he also was really wanting people to want to meet him as well.
I see. So he was like, he wanted to be like famous himself.
Yeah.
Not just like I'm interviewing the famous people, but like I'm the dude.
Yeah, he wanted to become that for sure. Yeah.
I've heard a lot of people just in people's videos that I've watched about him. This might be skipping ahead a little bit, but I've heard like from you and other people who were around him at the time, like he was kind of like anti-social around this time. Like he kind of like only focused on like business and YouTube, kind of like you said, money, and like you wouldn't hang out with him.
Yeah, when My Digital Escape was going on, we would be in our I guess you would call it like the living room with everyone, and we would invite him out sometimes, and he would just be in his room, and he would endeavor, I don't know, endeavor. I don't know. He was always a drinking guy as well. He really enjoyed drinking.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Which
is he would make minors drink.
Wow. Another thing, and this is jumping ahead too, but I'm gonna circle back to where we were. But and I don't know if this is a weird thing to bring up. Maybe it's not. But like I know way later in the game he came out actually and said that he's gay.
Yeah.
And it's now looking back at his old stuff, I'm like,
obviously, yeah.
He obviously what, like, yeah, okay. I'm glad that you said that, because I'm like, when I watch those interviews now, I'm like, oh, he totally is.
A lot of people like question if he's actually gay, but no, he's definitely gay.
Yeah.
I think with that though, the one thing I will say about his coming out video, which he definitely is gay, so don't question that. That's not okay.
Yeah.
But my problem with that video is I remember me and some other people were there, but he said if I ever get canceled, that's when I'm going to come out with a video about my coming out. He said that before. And then he got canceled, and then he comes out with that almost as like which is gross, trying to like almost use it as like a shield. And I only know that because he said it to me before when we were friends.
Right. And see, that makes me remember when he dropped that video, most of the comment section were people assuming just that, being like,
it got a lot of dislikes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not because people are homophobic. It's because people,
Yeah. It's because like, okay, so you're trying to like, it's not that we don't believe that you're gay. Like, congratulations for, whatever. But
absolutely.
But yeah, which, oh, man. Okay. That's,
it's kind of dark.
It is dark, and it really shows like
character.
Dude, BryanStars is a fucking onion, man. The more you peel back, the more you learn about him. It's like it just gets weirder and darker, and it's like, are you even an actual fucking human being with like empathy at all?
It's insane.
He obviously he didn't have the self-awareness to realize that people aren't stupid, and people are gonna catch on to Anyway, okay. that was jumping ahead though. I want to get back to so starting my digital escape.
Yes.
Give me just like the rundown on how that began, and what that meant at the time, and finding those people, and just
Yeah. It started off with my digital escape. It started off like really humble and like sweet almost. Because it was just Bryan and I was living in he had like a loft pretty much in Nebraska. It was an upstairs or whatever and like the downstairs, but it was all one room kind of connected. And so he was upstairs, I remember, and I was downstairs, and he was watching Our Second Life, which was a big collab channel on YouTube.
Yeah.
And he was like, what if we do like an emo version of that? And I was like, I don't know. Like I kind of am starting my YouTube thing on my own. Like I haven't even developed myself.
Totally.
So I wasn't really that for it. And then he kept on bringing it up, and I was like, all right, why not? And so we brought it up like together, and then the members, the original crew were selected. Austin Jones, because he was popular on Vine, and Bryan had pull, so he got him.
I don't know if a lot of people know that he was an OG first. Maybe they do, but
he was surprisingly famous for his dancing.
Yeah,
which also was the downfall of him.
I have like a couple quick questions about Austin Jones. I mean, we all know.
God, there's a lot.
We all know what happened to that guy. I don't even know how much you want to get into that whole rigmarole, but the
down.
Yeah, I guess my first two questions are like, so he's part of the same collab channel as you at the time. Did you get to know him at all at the time? Okay.
No.
So because
he was kind of a dick.
Really? Because I was gonna ask if you noticed any red flags about him at the time or whatever.
He was really cocky, but like the only time he ever spoke to me was to promote his covers. That was it.
Oh yeah, okay.
And everyone
he's that
I
guy
know that,
who's just
he didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, he's about his hustle. Not trying
and then
to be
eventually
friends.
it leaked why he joined MD, and it was just for promotion. He like posted a DM to some fan saying like, no, I'm just doing it for like to get more popular. I don't give a fuck about it. Like it was like from him.
Oh, God.
And then he also when we had MDE, he when he was firstly called out for just twerking videos, he hacked our Twitter because he still had access to it. And he was out of the channel at that time, but he still had access to the Twitter, and he posted Austin Jones should kill himself and then deleted it.
Whoa!
And on the MDE account. Yeah.
What?
And then everyone thought it was MDE.
Oh my
but
God.
It wasn't. It was him. He literally did it.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Fucking asshole.
So that dude was like
psycho.
Yeah, he's like a scumbag in all types of ways already.
It's crazy.
Like he was just a douchebag.
When he was called out, he like texted me just to like kind of like do like whatever, trying to like make sure that he can like protect
like
himself.
Yeah, that you're still cool with him or whatever.
Yeah, kind of doing that, even though we never talked before that. It was just damage control shit. It was so weird.
I remember that when he got called out like the first time, and he made that fucking video where he was like, I've gone through so much and now I don't know how to, which, I'm not discrediting when, but he's a
pedophile.
But I am, exactly. I am gonna fucking throw you shade if you're using that as an excuse to
using his fame to get nudes from minors.
And not like hundreds and hundreds of like 12 to 14 year olds from what I remember about the, like the dude was on some really dark, like some fucking Law and Order SVU, like real deal scary shit. And I remember when he got kind of caught for that the first time, and then there was like D Fizzy was all like,
he was a big part of it.
Yeah, and people were like giving D Fizzy shit.
Yeah, D Fizzy got kicked from Warped Tour because of it.
Yeah,
and Kevin Lyman was I like Kevin.
Okay,
but he was defending Austin during that time.
He was, and wasn't. Well, I actually. Well, fuck it. We're already here. Cause wasn't so he gets called out for it in a weird way. He kind of that apology video kind of worked. Like people kind of were like, "Oh, okay," which is so weird because
then Danny got shit.
That wouldn't. Yeah. So, and then he kind of just got like sort of at least on the surface looking in, it seemed like he got kind of welcomed back into the community, and like
Yes.
people weren't really, and I was even at the time, I was like, really? How did this dude get away with that? That doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it was still weird.
Yeah. And then 2 years later, it's like, oh, he got arrested.
Oh, it's actually, he's actually asking to see their buttholes on top of it.
Yeah. And like anyone, it's such a huge fuck you to anyone who was trying to protect him or defend him.
Absolutely.
Because the dude.
Yeah, so during that time though, Kevin, like he's done it before with Front Porch Step, you know, like kind of giving him a second chance. He was trying to, you know, and I understand he's trying to be a nice guy, but like these people are unfortunately not great people and shouldn't be around kids. And during that time there was meetings in Warped Tour all the time about, oh, is Austin Jones going to stay with all the bands and everything? Just like how they had one with Johnny Craig about whether he's going to stay on tour, and everyone from Warped Tour voted whether he was going to stay.
Right. I know about that. That's pretty crazy. And
it's
I mean,
weird. It was like Survivor. It's like, oh, does Johnny Craig get to stay even though he did something weird? Yes or no? Vote in this box.
It's like, I don't fucking know. I don't know Johnny Craig, man.
But, yeah, with the Austin Jones thing, there was meetings a lot during those Warped Tours because he was supposed to be on it. And Austin also came to one of the shows and saw Damon, Brian, and Alex and me walking through the buses while he was talking to Kevin Lyman because they were trying to figure it out with like whether he's going to be on the tour and stuff. And
right, was that weird? Because another thing,
weird. He looked mad.
Totally. I wanted to bring up because I've heard. I don't know if how truthful a lot of this stuff is. But I've heard that Austin Jones was like sort of being protected by certain people who knew what he was doing, but we're still trying to.
Brian?
I've heard that about Brian. About Brian.
Yeah. No.
Specifically Brian. Yeah. Was he was it the sort of thing where Brian knew about this shit even more than other people, but was like,
this is like,
he was under Brian's management type thing?
Yeah. So this is like, Brian like had his management called Talent Shop with this other guy. And they were both like, you know, managing pretty much mostly just My Digital Escape, the whole people in that. During that time, and because of that though, Austin was managed by them, and that's why Austin was going to be on Warped Tours because Brian wanted to get more money from it, so he's going to be a Warped YouTuber with us. But during that time, Damon and even Alex and I at the time were like bringing up to Brian, yo, this is weird because you know, this guy's asking for like twerking videos from like girls.
Yeah, and, like Brian, is that not weird to you? Like, do you really?
He just wanted to keep him on the tour. He wanted to keep it until, you know, he didn't know that it was like nudity from my knowledge, but he knew it was twerking, and he was like still like kind of like trying to let it fly.
Which is funny because looking back now, it's like, what's the difference? Like, if you're like you know, like it's crazy that you know, he's just. Yeah. No one does that. No one. I
think it's because I think the reason why he was trying to look past it is because he was managing him. It was his client, and he was he was wanting if Austin was on Warped Tour plus he's getting percentage from me, and himself. That's a lot of money he's making off everyone. Yeah.
So Brian was just in like scummy, money hungry management world basically when it comes to all that. So anyway, let's go back to you and your story a little bit. Cause that kind of,
it's just so big. We have to go off.
Dude, there's just so many things to talk about. So My Digital Escape starts and it gets going like with sort of the lineup that everyone sort of remembers it as, you know, which is not including Austin Jones or I think there was some other
Alex Ramos.
Yeah, there was like that guy was gone, and then there was like it was like Jordan Sweeto, all those people.
Jordan, Sweeto, Alex, Kyle, Luke, and then Shannon, and then Brian, and then me. Yeah, that's it, I think.
So y'all start making videos on this channel, and I mean, y'all were like, that YouTube channel was like
wild.
It became so popular. Like y'all were like famous, bro. Okay, this is even jumping ahead a little bit, but not really because we're right here in it. So I definitely wanted to bring up I think Warped Tour 2015 is
Yeah.
like the year that they had the Warped YouTubers out, which already people were kind of like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, they
Like,
were mad.
yeah, all the old heads were
Even like
mad.
Paris the band like tweeted about like, what the fuck is this? And
Yeah,
everyone was like that mostly.
yeah. So it was this weird thing for kind of other people on the tour,
Yeah.
but the proof was in the fucking pudding because
Oh, it was crazy.
you guys' lines for people to meet you were like longer than any lines for any bands. Like you guys were more popular amongst the youth than like some of the bands were at that
It was
point.
gross.
Do you like, dude? I mean, I guess like
Yeah.
So I have like many open-ended questions about that. How did it feel for you at the time? Were you aware of how like
No.
insane it was? And looking back on it now, like what does it look like now? I guess
Scary.
I'm just throwing these questions at the wall.
Yeah.
You can take it any
Yeah, because
way.
so with Warped Tour, we did the first Warped Tour YouTubers. It was Kate, Sear, Damon, and Brian, and then I was the merch guy actually for it. But then I got recognized too much, and then I became a Warped YouTuber.
Interesting. And that
I
was
couldn't do the merch.
Was that 2014?
That was there was only 2 Warped YouTubers like full tours. That was, I don't know which one.
Yeah,
but that was the first one.
Yeah. Okay.
That was the first lineup, and even back then it was so big because Damon and Brian and especially them, people really like in that scene really wanted to meet.
Yeah. Dude, real quick, I remember at Warped Tour 2014, I was standing in the crowd. I think we were watching like Of Mice and Men or something. Yeah. I don't know. And BryanStars like walked by in front of us.
Sasquatch.
And dude, it was literally, it was like seeing Bigfoot. Like we all looked at each other. It was like time stopped. It was like, that's BryanStars. It was, I don't know.
Well, I mean, if you watch his old videos, all the fans, like when he's at a Black Veil Brides show going like, Brian!
Yeah, and because that's the thing. Like his whole thing, the thing that he had going at the time.
Girl. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was exciting, like, because it was kind of like we were kind of talking about earlier. This was the rise of like the YouTube celebrity. Like that wasn't a thing. Like going back to when you were starting off doing like YouNow stuff and whatever, like you had people on YouTube that were like big within the small like niche subculture of YouTube. But once you guys and My Digital Escape started popping off, like that was really when it became like, oh, YouTubers are like celebrities now. People buy houses with the money that they make on YouTube.
YouTuber thing, because it became something where the bands some of them were getting annoyed with it because they were like, these lines like are getting in our way or whatever. Because it was insane. It was literally thousands of people. It would never end. Like
right.
And for going back to that though, I mean, it just got bigger. I mean, the second year was absolutely insane. When we did Warped UK, it was just like insane as well. Like it was ridiculous. Right. And also during that time, like throughout the time, I was growing my own, YouTube career. So it was like people were actually starting to have a reason to want to meet me more so.
Right. And were you kind of starting to do music at that time too, or
no?
A little bit?
I didn't start. I don't think I started music until MDE was actually happening. So
okay.
Well, maybe I did. Yeah. Maybe I had one AP out or something, but yeah, maybe. I don't fucking know.
Right, because at this point, this was kind of like MDE was a thing, right?
Yeah,
and it was
for the second Warped Tour.
Yeah, right. Yeah, obviously, because that was why it was such a huge thing. So I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, and some of the MDE members would even like show up to some of the dates and do the meetups with us.
Wow.
So, which just made it even crazier. So. Did it like maybe I wasn't really that cocky, I would say, but I was definitely like not able to grasp what was happening. Right. And a lot of the times, and I still feel this way, a lot of them I think were there to meet Brian and Damon, like the people that like they grew up watching.
Yeah.
But I mean there probably were people that wanted to meet me, I guess, but it was like I always felt like, it was more so their show, and I not in like a mean way. That's just, obviously.
Yeah.
And
I mean, you're right. Yeah.
So I was just kind of thrown in there, and I it was hard for me to grasp though. I mean, I just kind of was like, I just felt like this is like normal to me. Like it was just,
Right.
that's how it was.
You're just there. This is happening. It's
Yeah. Like
crazy.
you try to be nice, but like also, you know, we weren't, it was just like, it was insane. It was just like, oh, you're going to take photos with people. And I'm like, a lot of the times there, I was like, are people just taking photos with me because I know Bryan? Like, that's kind of what it felt
Right.
like. Because
Yeah. And
I wasn't that popular. I was like, why are like people?
yeah. And was that like literally the only thing you were
Yeah.
doing on the tour? It was like meet and greets?
I mean, after the first Warped Tour year, because I was supposed to be the merch person, but that like, you know, Damon and all them like, you know, promoted me, and it was like, okay, we can't do that now.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Like,
Was it
yeah.
fucking exhausting, like
Yes.
meeting in the hot sun all day, meeting like 8 million people? I feel like I would have had like a panic attack, bro.
I
Like,
did
dude,
actually. Yeah. I had a lot of panic attacks, and sometimes I was sick, but like people like, it was hard because every day you'd wake up and like you would still be on Twitter or whatever, and people would be tweeting you like, I'm waiting, like da da da. So it's like, oh, and like sometimes parents would get mad, but we could only meet people sometimes for like a couple of hours, and then like we had like our security would make us go because like that was like a rule Warped Tour had for us.
Interesting.
That we could only meet people for like 4 hours, and then we had to go, and then we could come back later.
Yeah.
It was really exhausting. It was not healthy.
Yeah.
Because it was I wouldn't stop, and I was young, and I was like, well, if people, you know, this is how I'm going to grow, and like people are here, and I don't know, this is just why I don't know. That's what everyone else, Damon was always doing it. So I would just usually go with him.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. Totally.
Bryan would usually kind of go like for a while and then stop. And like a lot of times especially when he started his management stuff, he was always on his phone looking at it while like meeting people, and like it was horrible. Yeah. Like he wouldn't actually say hi to them. He would just be on his phone, and Damon and I would be like, Bryan, what the fuck? Like there's thousands of people here in line to meet us, and you're on your phone.
Dude, really quick, like sidebar about that. I was watching, I've kind of been going back and watching a lot of those old BryanStars interviews for the first time in forever. And there's a bunch of different ones of those where he'll be like in the middle of an interview with like a big band, and he'll pull out his phone and he'll be like, oh, I See Stars is calling me. Can you guys just like hang tight for a sec?
Oh,
in the middle of the interview.
I know which one you're talking about. Yeah. That's a Tonight Alive interview, I think.
Dude, he did that. It was I actually saw that in one of the Asking Alexandria ones. He was like one of the later ones, but he was like, oh, like Upon a Burning Body is calling me or something, and he just gave the mic to them and like fucked off for a few minutes.
Happened. Yeah.
And I'm like, I think when I was a teenager,
I know Damon's been around that once before, and he said it was like super awkward.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, what the fuck, dude? You're like literally interviewing a band right now, and then you're gonna dip them for the bigger one is pretty much what it is.
Exactly. Because I like for me, I'm like, dude, that's just kind of fucked up. Like you don't really know him you don't know them very well. It's just very like cocky attitude. And
yeah, I mean, it's like, oh, well, actually, there's this bigger fish I'm going to go grab real quick.
Yeah,
never mind like, this.
You can't, like, just wait on the call until after you're done with the fucking interview. Like, you really got to be like, oh, hold on, talk to you guys. You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
With the earpiece walking away, I got to take this. All Hollywood.
That's exactly how it went. It was really weird.
Yeah.
So, that never happened, I don't think, when I was filming anything, but, yeah, I know that's happened for sure.
Yeah. Yo, going back to the Warped Tour real quick, and then we'll move on. But just kind of a tabloidy question real quick. But did anyone ever did anyone get in trouble, or were there any like crazy stories of anyone like doing any just like,
I mean, not really for us besides Damon having drama with the Austin Jones stuff, but
did you guys like drink? Were y'all partiers or not?
Oh, I got in trouble for drinking like once when I was on it, but my bus, like I had like one of the higher up people on my bus, and he was like, "Don't do that again because you're underage." Like, and I just respected it after that because I was like,
that's interesting.
It was crazy because I mean, even during Warped Tour, like we went to the APMAs during that time, everyone from Warped Tour, and like. We went to the after party. I remember Christopher Drew was there, and he was like, dude, drink with me. Like, I was drinking on Warped Tour, and I was like, dude, I can't because, like, I'll get in trouble. But it was crazy because it was, like, all these famous bands. And even, like, at those shows, like, Oliver Sykes was there, Haley Williams, like, these more, like,
oh, yeah.
even
legends.
top-notch people. Yeah, Brendan Urie even. There was
That's
like two
crazy.
APMAs we went to. I remember now.
Oh wow! You went to the APMAs.
Yeah, we
that's
went. All of us did to both of them, and then there was after parties. It was weird, but yeah. What really happened though, where people were getting in trouble, was I was also on the same bus as Front Porch Step, and he was a good friend of mine.
Whoa!
Yeah, he
Dead
was a good.
ass! I
Yeah, he
didn't
was a
know
good friend of
that.
mine, and I loved his music. But
He was a friend of yours?
yeah, he was literally on the same bus for me, and he would like watch out for me and stuff. Yeah.
I didn't know that, man. That's
Yeah,
wow.
and then
That's a whole.
also V1I was on the tour during that time, and those are two
yeah.
people that had allegations.
Yeah.
And it was really weird. And I was only like 17, hearing about people being called out, and it's like, and that's just the start of it, with Austin as well. And I was like trying to grasp.
Bro, like, thank you for being a good person, Johnny, and keep because you were surrounded by so much like scumbaggery at the time. Yeah. Like you were like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I knew it wasn't like I kind of saw like that it wasn't okay to do that stuff because of just people being so shitty. But
right.
It was weird, yeah, because I was young and I was seeing like people were talking about Front Porch Step, and actually I remember I would hear him like angry on the phone sometimes, but he was mostly a nice guy to me. But well, he always was a nice guy to me, but I was like, oh shit, and then I see the photos of him, and then with V1I as well, like, I got along with him really well, and then you hear this stuff and it's like, it's like so like it puts you in a really weird spot.
Yeah. Yeah, and unfortunately it seems like, especially around that era, I mean, I'm sure this is true for like rock and roll in general as a whole, but it seems like in that era of like Warped Tour stuff, like it really was a breeding ground for a lot of like predators, man, which is really unfortunate because as
taking something so like fucking good and then damaging it and giving it this like disgusting name that like, why the fuck would you let your kids go there, when in reality it was like, for me, it was a place where it's like, this is the best place for a kid to be, and sometimes because it helped them so much.
Exactly, because you and I know that stuff like really was so special and so like such a beautiful just culture and scene for kids growing up, especially like the type of kids
it was a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and just the fact that there were people running around, and there's still people running around just taking advantage of something that is so helpful and positive to people. It's really disgusting, and like I hope that after all the fuckery that we've witnessed in the last 10 years with all these people, hopefully it's like, I hope that people realize like this isn't a place for that anymore. Like people aren't going to stand up for that. We're going to call your ass out, and you're not going to.
It's not. It's not like how rock used to be. Like that's not rock and roll. That's just fucking being a predator.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, speaking of predators, and then I was going to get a little segue there, but I don't know. Did you have another? Were you going to?
No, I didn't have anything else. No.
Okay, so speaking of douchebaggery and all that type of stuff, following that really big Warped Tour with all the craziness, that kind of led to, well, there was a My Digital Escape tour, right?
Yeah.
Which happened, I think, 2016, and then after that, My Digital Escape ended like shortly after.
Right after,
right?
Yeah.
And this is amidst like, we haven't even gotten into this aspect of it, but the content that was on My Digital Escape was like
sexual as fuck,
ridiculous. Yeah, kind of. I mean, a lot of it was lighthearted, and there was like good stuff on there. Like, it wasn't all weird, but there definitely was that like Johnny kisses this other guy.
Let's get into that.
Gone sexual, like
yeah.
So that,
Yeah.
So, and from what I understand, that was a lot of like Bryan kind of coaching you guys to do that because he understood
definitely
for some reason that
because that got clicks on his channels. Yeah, I mean, one of my first early videos that blew up was called like "Naked Girl on Omegle" or whatever, and it's like. You get like
and 12-year-olds are like, dude,
but it got a lot of views, and that would happen for Bryan as well. And then so then it was like right during that time, Dan and Phil, like their ship was like super big. It was like, oh my god, two boys liking each other. So Bryan almost coerced this. Like, I mean, it was like, I was young and trying to be like silly, and I was like, okay, this is what YouTubers do. But and same with Kyle and stuff, but it was definitely like trying to make this thing out of it, like Connie, which in reality we were just friends. And
Because I guess it was all done, like, all that, like, those, you know, the gone sexual kind of clickbaity videos. It was all, like, done under this guise that it's, like, lighthearted and innocent.
Yeah, but it's creepy.
But it's creepy. Like, looking back now, it's like, nah,
like,
that
Bryan was a grown
weird.
man, and he was filming, like, he was in the same room as me and Kyle, and, like, telling us to, like, do, like, these, like, naked twister was one of them, but we weren't actually naked, but, like, you know, like, oh, like, like, shit like that. Like, who the fuck? Like,
yeah.
Like, and,
because yeah.
Go ahead. I can't remember what I was going to. Oh yeah. So then it also became this thing where I was dating Alex at the time, which was real, and
right, yeah.
but Bryan would milk that, and he would it was Jolix versus Connie he was trying to do. And then
oh my god.
Also one of the worst things he did was one time Alex and I were talking when we were a couple, and we were just talking, and it was like early on in our relationship, and Bryan read our DMs on my account because he had access to my account.
What?
Yeah, dude. He read my DMs, and he saw that I was like talking about maybe moving in with her or something. I think that's what the course of it was. And he got mad at me because he was like losing me. So now we all think Bryan loves me, but yeah, that's my
theory. You think he had a little crush on you, maybe?
Yeah, which is kind of weird.
Which is also weird.
That's just
speculation. We don't know, but what? Dude, is Bryan like? Do you think he's like a sociopath or something? Like, what's up with that dude? Because
I don't want to pull a Shane Dawson and diagnose.
No, I don't. But exactly. I realized that I was saying that. I don't want to go there. But
is that guy like some like
yeah, we bring out like a sociopath checklist.
Yeah.
Nah, not doing that. But I mean, I guess just in the way of like. The way that he was interacting with you guys and interacting with pretty much everybody around the time, like that's not the way that like people interact with people. And you're this young kid who like you're young. You're like 18. You're like a fucking child.
I'll tell you more. Tell me more. Because
another thing I just want to say real quick is like you still are kind of under this assumption that like Bryan is your friend, right? And you're like, totally. I'm friends with this guy. You don't you're starting to see red flags in him, and it's starting to get kind of weird, but it's not.
But he's been there for a long time, Yeah,
he's really been there for you. Like he kind of put you on.
Yeah, I lived with him for the whole time,
Yeah, so it must have been this push and pull inside
and when like Kyle or Shannon was mad at him, it was always, all right, Team Bryan, because, you know, Bryan lived with me and stuff, so.
Yeah, right.
But... Fuck, what was I gonna say? I have some really. Oh yeah, so Bryan, one of his favorite things to do when I was like first moved in with him is he would love to like, beg me to drink with him as a minor. Yeah, and then so there would even be points where like he would just hand me drinks.
Yeah,
like. And I'd be like, sometimes I was mostly into it because I was young, and I was like, okay. But he would say one of his famous quotes was, you gotta be able to handle your liquor because when we're like near bands or whatever, like something like that. Like when we're hanging out with bands, they want you to handle your liquor. See, back then though, in my mind, I didn't understand that. Hey, I'm 16. These bands probably weren't gonna want to drink with me. Plus, I'm not a girl, so like maybe if I was a 16-year-old girl, they'd be
Yeah, right. It's also like the kind of thing where like, if I was 16 and like BryanStars told me that, I guess I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. I want to seem legit. But like but it's like, dude, the bands don't give a fuck. Like they're not.
You're not gonna be on their tour bus to drink with them. We're doing an interview. Like what the fuck? But Bryan would have me drink. It was always like me for a long while, and then eventually MDE happened, and then kind of gave me a little bit less because he would start begging the other people that were there to drink with them, and yeah, it was really like, that's not cool. Like we were like, a lot of us were like 17, 16. Yeah, well, I mean, me when it first happened was like 16.
I mean, y'all were young, but like, I mean, besides Bryan, I guess, encouraging you to drink, was there any sort of like partying going on or substances?
Oh yeah, there was like, not substances really, but like there was like
weed and alcohol.
Not really weed, honestly. There was just like mostly just drinking and just like mostly just being obnoxious kids.
Yeah,
honestly.
right.
It wasn't. It was
like innocent.
It wasn't too wild. Yeah, it wasn't too bad, honestly. It was just obnoxious kids like doing silly shit and just being jackasses. But like,
because I mean, a lot of people you know, kind of talk about like the bad and the ugly of all that, but I mean, I'm sure there were good times, right? I mean, a lot of times it looked like you guys were having a lot of fun. Like,
definitely. It was really, there was a lot of great times. It was weird. Like the grand scheme of it, like there was weird shit that was going on, but like, but like definitely like everyone, like when we all got along, we were having fun with each other for sure.
Right.
Yeah. And that was a lot of the time for sure. Even though there was like butting heads all the time, because there was like 10 people or so, and you know, everyone.
Yeah. Yo, another like kind of tabloid question. Sorry to bring these to you, but I gotta know, man. You say Bryan was a drinker. Now was he like, what was he like when he was like drunk? Like, was he ever weird, or like did he ever like open up to you or anything? Like, you know what I mean? Like
you want me to tell you the weirdest oh man, this is all like really deep shit.
I'll tell you.
I'll tell you the weirdest thing he did to me. No, I'll tell you.
Yeah, okay.
The only thing that's ever happened that was weird, that I was like, okay. he would try to wrestle us.
Oh no.
And one time he purred on my neck. And I was like, dude, what the fuck? Like yeah. Yes. Right on my neck. And I got so uncomfortable. Like it was,
that's weird. That's
and
weird.
It's happened to other people too, but I'm not gonna like say their names. But for myself, it was really, that's definitely the weirdest thing. And he was drunk when he did it. And I was like, dude, I don't want to wrestle you. Like I'm 17 or whatever. I'm like, you know, trying to, I was like thinking like, oh, that's weird. And also like, it was weird. And he like purred on my neck and it made me like, it was weird. I was, that's definitely like the line of like weird shit that happened that I know of. But like I knew it happened to like 2 other people at least, and it was like, what the fuck? Like
interesting, because that's, I mean, wanting to wrestle, that's like,
you're 20, like you're 27 at the time, like
you're 27. I'm 17. You're drunk.
The older I get and look at that, I'm like, that's not something I would ever want to do with a 17.
No, that's almost what other reason? I don't know. I don't even want to. That's Well, I'm glad that nothing ever went further than that.
No,
with him
nothing
being,
else. But I feel like that's worth saying, even though like he's probably gonna like try to message me somehow, being like, "Why'd you fucking say that? I'm gonna sue you."
Oh my god, yeah. Yo, if Bryan's watching this right now,
he's definitely watching.
Dude, hit me up, bro. I want to talk to him so bad.
He's gonna be so mad at me.
Yo, real quick, okay, I just thought of this. Like, okay, you say that like, Bryan's probably gonna watch this and get mad at me. It's like, but where's that motherfucker at though? Like, if he wanted to, he like, why doesn't he just come online and?
I mean, I know where he's at.
Yeah.
I mean, because I became friends with him for a little bit again, and then we had a falling out again.
Really?
Yeah, he's in one of my music videos.
A recent one? What?
Like last year, yeah.
Oh, so
he's the Grim Reaper in my music video, Welcome to Hell. That's him.
What? I need to watch that again. Okay, dude, but you know, before we get into the end of MDE, just because this is almost the thing that I'm so curious about is like the current whereabouts of BryanStars. You don't have to don't dox him or whatever. No. Obviously not, but
I mean, I wouldn't do anything like that.
Well, actually, no, not for the doxing, but I actually, you know what? Nah, let's do that. Let's do the fall of My Digital Escape.
We also still need to talk about the Johnny and Bryan show too, because we touched on that. We never really got into it.
Yeah. So that was pre MDE, right?
Yeah, it became kind of part of MDE with the second season. We had 2 seasons, and it was pretty much Bryan. Average Joe did it, who did like, you know, Joe Flanders. He did it.
Yeah, he's like cousins with Andy.
Yeah, cousins with Andy Biersack. Yeah.
Who were kind of Bryan's homies at the time, which is funny, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we had Joe direct it, and it was just like our attempt of doing an emo Drake and Josh kind of show, and Bryan was the weird one, and I was the cute emo boy, was pretty much the skit of it. And it was actually a really good idea. But Bryan wrote like all of it or whatever with Joe, and because of that, a lot of it just became sexual, like humping jokes, and I'm gonna be overly sexual. And so that's pretty much it though. I just wanted to kind of touch on that.
Right, totally.
It had 2 seasons. It was there. I don't know why.
Yeah, because I've seen those before, and it definitely seems really wholesome. Like it seems
it's
like
not the worst.
Yeah, it's just this nice little. It was very of the time and very
It's
like
kind of like Smosh vibes or something, I guess.
yeah, which I almost wish that like it would have been cool if the whole My Digital Escape thing was more like the Brian and Johnny
Yeah,
thing,
I
as
agree.
opposed to like blowing up condom balloons or
Yeah.
whatever the fuck kind of shit.
That was easy content to make though.
Yeah, like very yeah, like that kind of
Because
stuff is like
he would have us with MDE. He would have us like sometimes we filmed like 7 videos in one day,
yeah.
and it was like oh
Because
we
it's
gotta
easy
get this
shit
many
to
videos.
it's like bottom of the bit like the way that I kind of look at that, and I don't want to piss off
Yeah,
anybody watching this, but the way that the nowadays equivalent of that to me is like reaction videos, like
yeah,
when a new song comes out and it's like new song reaction, like
yeah,
that to me is like very like bottom of the bit, like
yeah. It's easy content.
it doesn't take that long, and I feel like that's kind of at the time it was like, I mean, but even the same thing for the reaction videos. Those videos somehow nowadays are really huge. Like people watch that shit.
They're still pretty entertaining too. I mean, I
They
get
can be
why
entertaining.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm not
yeah,
shitting on that as a whole. I'm not even
yeah. I know what
shitting
you
on it
mean.
at all. But it's just like
No,
I feel like at the time, the version of that was like
yeah, Chubby
yeah,
Bunny, all that crap. Yeah,
challenge videos. Yeah, and that stuff had. I mean, I watched shit like that. It was fun, funny,
yeah, wholesome content.
stuff. Yeah, um, but yeah, and then we kind of went over the weird sexual stuff going on with MTE. Do you want to get into like the tour, the My Digital Escape tour?
Oh yeah, we can get into the MDE tour. That's a good idea.
Because I feel like that's when a lot of shit really hit the fan.
Yeah,
Especially
shit hit the fan.
yeah, that's when the wheels fell off and everyone was
Okay,
like,
there's a lot to get into. Fuck.
yeah,
man.
because that's
sorry.
when
It's so hard to get all this info,
dude. It's okay. It's okay.
So during the MDE tour, Brian, I already had my first EP out, and it was doing really well. Like my song Without a Name" did huge, like for a small emo guy. And,
yeah.
I even like the songs after that were doing really well. And
yeah, you had some bangers around that time.
Thanks,
not gonna
man.
lie.
My fetus songs.
And
then
very very Christopher Drew inspired.
Definitely.
Which I love.
Yeah. And then because of that though, Brian saw that it was doing so well and he was like, I like music. I'm gonna do it.
I know where this is going.
And so he did the whole whatever the fuck EP.
Follow Your Dreams. I hate that I know that.
One of them's called Follow Your Dreams. Is
Follow
that
Your
the first one?
Dreams. I think I can tell you for a fact.
Because the second one, everyone thought it was supposed to be a picture of Alex and I making out or something. Or like each other back in the day. Right. That's funny. Yeah. But anyways, yeah, he had that EP, the first one, and yeah, it was very forced, but he got it out right before he had this idea of making everyone on MDE do the MDE tour, which led to one member almost not being on the tour because Brian wasn't managing them at the time. And he said, I won't let you on the tour unless if you sign my contract to be on my management, because he wanted to take a percentage from everyone.
God, dude.
And all this percentage stuff led to such a big argument thing. And so the MDE tour was pretty much forced upon everyone, though. No one was really ready for it.
Yeah, no, I mean, not even all of you were like musicians or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
I mean, yeah, now you do it, and Shannon does music, and Jordan, everyone,
Yeah.
But like back then, we were all so young, and we were just like, okay, let's just focus on keeping this channel alive. But he was like money quick, and so eventually, everyone was signed to Brian, and the tour happened, and everyone was kind of already like stressed about it, and like we were doing rehearsal kind of crap. Like a lot of the people were like, what the fuck are we gonna do? And he's like, here, just do like challenges live with them. Okay. And Johnny, you don't know how to play your music live because you're like 10. Here, attempt to play guitar. Okay.
Oh my God.
And it worked out mostly well, but it was like there was like 3 bits of us just randomly dancing to music for like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It was very iCarly.
Yeah, kind of similar to there was a video. You know that guy Drew Gooden?
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Yeah, he made a video where he went to like I guess Jake Paul did a tour.
Oh yeah.
And
exactly.
what you're describing reminds me a lot of like what I saw of that, because it's a lot of like
it really is.
Y'all don't even like. There's no. What is this show even of?
It's the alternative version of that practically.
Yeah, right, which is funny. I
It's
think.
pretty dark.
It is,
and
yeah. There's a lot of
and
darkness. I don't know if you even realize how like dark a lot of this shit is, especially with Bryan. I mean, with the tour, like I feel like the tour was kind of. Would you say that that was a big turning point for all of you guys of being like, wait a minute, like what have we gotten
oh
ourselves
yeah,
into? What is this Bryan dude
it was
doing?
yeah. I mean, the whole management thing was a huge part of it because it was just so money
Yeah,
based, and it was so like it felt so businessy. It was, oh, you got to film this many videos, we got to get this many out. It was like, but Kyle and or whatever, we're going through depression or something, and we're like struggling, and he's like, but you got to get your video out. It's like, bro,
yeah.
like check on your friends first, like.
Yeah, like there's time for videos. Like you gotta make sure you're 100%
So
first and foremost.
yeah, so we did the MDE tour though, and it was a huge success, and we overbooked VIP, and so it was always like we were pretty much meeting everyone, but we were charging more for it because
Yeah,
that's what
right.
Bryan wanted to do.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we were meeting people, and then we would do our shows, and we did like every show was pretty much sold out, like 500 people VIP. It was pretty massive.
That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, you guys were still gigantic at this point. Like,
yeah, I think that was the peak of it. It really was. It was
yeah,
like, yeah, before it ended. I mean, literally the moment it ended, we were at our peak, I would say, besides like practically.
right.
Um,
How many views were you guys racking in like per video?
it was like per day. Like, I think it was like we were getting like 100,000 easily, like right away. Like
Ooh.
now I can't even get close to that, but back in the day. Yeah.
Dude, I mean, that was like
Yeah,
y'all
crazy.
were I mean, just to kind of zoom out a little bit, like y'all were on the forefront of some like new shit, like
Yeah.
there was no
That was before
was,
Team 10 was even really doing a thing. So
yeah.
we were like still pretty like early.
Yeah, it was like no there was no. Well, I mean, I guess there were other collab channels.
There was like
before,
our Second Life and stuff, but we were doing it our own way though,
yeah,
for sure.
and no one had done it as big as you guys were doing it beforehand.
I mean, our Second Life did for YouTube.
Yeah, right. Okay, yeah.
They did it bigger. But yeah.
Okay, true. I guess yeah.
They can keep their crown.
Yeah.
But we did it. I think we did it more so in like a way that became more touring and stuff, and it became so like it almost became like also this like famous kind of look of it as well, where it was like, oh, now we're doing Johnny and Bryan episodes and MDE are in it, and it's like it felt like untouchable a little bit at that moment. It was like, oh, they're like, at this like,
I guess too,
they're living in LA and doing all this crazy stuff.
Yeah, because I guess too, I'm kind of thinking it more of in like its place in like the scene world as opposed to like the YouTube world, which is kind
okay,
but
definitely in the scene world for sure. I agree
in the
that.
Scene world, it was like something just crazy different.
It was.
I
mean, literally, I mean, the biggest bands, like not the biggest bands, but bands were talking about it being like, the fuck is this? Like, or like the whole warped YouTuber thing. They were like, what is this? Like, why?
Right.
I get it, but
I mean, I get it too. If I was like 30 years old and I've been playing in my like metalcore band for like 14
it's practically years. If like TikTokers now were to be on like Warped Tour, it's like, like people would be like, why though? And that's kind of how people were with YouTubers.
Right. Cause it's like, you have like, for some reason I'm thinking of the band like Every Time I Die or something. Like they've been doing it for like 20 years. They're like they're out there grinding and they've been grinding their whole life. Yeah. And then there's these like fucking kids, that come
dancing
on
and shit. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, y'all guys aren't even them. Yeah, it's like
they're literally lip syncing to the songs that the bands are making. Yeah, shit like that. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, it's like y'all are taking our shit and like I get, and that's cool that you also kind of understand why.
Oh yeah, totally makes sense.
I'm sure all you guys now kind of look back and are like, oh, I get why.
Oh yeah, I think everyone does because I mean, but I mean, I don't think we were doing necessarily anything wrong because we were always trying to promote the bands and stuff, and that was like we were stoked just to be there, but. I can understand why people were annoyed with it because, like, I mean, I don't want to say it, but I mean, it is kind of just jealous that it's like, oh, like these random guys that are just filming videos, they just didn't, and I don't get it either. So
because on the flip side of it, looking back, I also honestly think it was like really cool, and it was cool because it was. Dude, it's just like I mean,
seeing the vlogs was great too as a viewer. I mean, you were like, it was like, oh my God, I get to experience Warped Tour more.
Right. Right.
So
And exactly. And it's like, yeah, and you guys were relatable. And it's this thing where like in any culture, whether it be music scene or whatever the fuck, eventually something new and different is gonna
has to
come
be added.
around,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be like usually it's the kids that love it first because the kids are the people who are kind of the tastemakers, and
Yeah.
the adults are kind of like, what the fuck, this doesn't make sense. But that's how culture always
Evolves.
has
Yeah.
been. Like
I
it's
mean, look at like Falling Reverse's music. Like he's always changing shit. And people at first were like, what the fuck is this? But like now everyone's like, damn, Popular Monster, Ronnie Raki, like revamped.
yeah,
Like, I mean, dude, there's no denying that that guy's always doing something different and like bringing it.
right,
And I
right,
think that's like kind of what, like, I'm not trying to compare it necessarily, but it was like Warped Tour
yeah,
adding their own version of something new and
yeah.
people being like, but like also it was blowing up though.
Right. And it was it
So,
was it was new, it was different. No one had seen on anything like that before on
no.
Warped Tour. And I think what probably grinded people's gears the most was it was successful as fuck,
Yeah.
which, and it's like, I mean, people can hate all they want, but that was an interesting like phenomenon that you guys were a part of,
Yeah.
genuinely.
Yeah, it
Like
was.
for
It was
the
really
rest of your
weird.
life, man, you're gonna have this thing where like, man, when I was like 17, 18, I was, like,
They
it's
used to
like
care.
it's
Yeah,
just cool, man, yeah. So
definitely.
I guess we can get into sort of the end of it. I mean, well, I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to say
Yeah,
about
let's get into the end of the
the
tour,
tour.
like when it crashed and burnt and then the
Yeah.
channel died.
And if you have any more strange Brian stories
Yeah,
from
we
that.
could, maybe at the end of it we can just like dabble on like random like side notes. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
totally, because I'm also like, I have
You can
more.
ask me about bands and shit if you want to. I don't care.
Yeah, okay. We'll get into like the tea as
Yeah,
much as you're comfortable with.
I'm all good.
Because like I said, I don't want to just be like, tell me about the like
Yeah, yeah.
whatever. But honestly
It's
though, dude,
interesting.
like yeah, as a person who's followed this shit for so long, like even as just a guy, like not even for like my YouTube channel, but just as a guy who's
Yeah.
followed you for a long time and has always been interested in this shit, there are just things that I just am
Have
genuinely
questions about?
curious
Yeah.
about. Yeah. So I
Well,
guess
I'm right here, man. Let's do
right.
it.
I'm ready, bro. So yeah, let's get into like the end of MDE, because I remember when y'all uploaded that video that was like,
Yeah.
it was you and Brian.
And Alex, yeah.
Yeah, and
Oh,
y'all were all sad and
it's so awful.
what, tell me about what happened, what led up to that, what was good with that?
So at that moment, Brian pretty much kicked out Shannon and Kyle for sure. And then
Oh,
he like just was like, fuck it, we gotta end it or whatever. So I was like, I was fine because like Alex and I were like, all right, this is actually an ending. So we were really sad. But
yeah.
Brian had us retake it, I think, twice. And the video. And he was like, all right, we gotta end it. But he always had, right when he was ending it, he was like, we're gonna bring it back though right away with Crystal Fleeing for MDE 2.0 and then Social Repose and
Yeah.
all these other alternative Eugene Acuni. He was like, we're gonna add these people. And
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Like in my head, I was like, Brian, like you're my friend. I want you not to get canceled, but like this is the worst idea I've ever heard in my life. We're filming the video that we're ending it, and you're already thinking about how to bring it back with new people, excluding like the old people. And he would call us the cast and stuff. Like, oh, it's cast one.
Yeah, that's where back to the thing where I'm like, what kind of guy is this? And also his lack of self-awareness about like people, like obviously him bringing the channel back with new people. Like your audience is not stupid, bro. Like yes, they're young. They're young kids, but young kids are like,
well,
they're
it's like,
smarter.
what do you not expect? You expect Shannon or Kyle just to be like, okay, that's fine. Like,
yeah, or even you and Alex just to be like, oh, whatever.
Yeah,
it's like,
so we were trying to like, we were like really sad, and that led to me actually moving out of the apartment 1 month early and just moving in with Alex to this other apartment that we moved into. And then eventually Brian had to move, and we weren't friends during that time, but he was trying to keep a hold of me, and he moved to the same apartment as me, even though I wasn't talking to him.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But like during that time though, Brian like instantly had the idea, and he was the only one with access to MD, and he still is. And he got to keep the 100,000 play button and all that crap. But my idea was to cut it into pieces and give it to everyone.
That would have been cool, dude.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, so he fuck man, sorry so much.
Oh yeah, no, you're good, man. You're good.
But yeah, so he already had the idea to bring it back, and
So
Alex and I
wait. Yeah. So he kicked a couple people out, which I'm assuming is for like business management reasons.
Just being like, they were like not.
They were just like, fuck this.
Yeah, they were like not in, like they were like getting annoyed with him, so he just got to the point where he's like, all right, bye.
Yeah. So then he's like, okay, we're ending this. But he was already telling you that he was going to bring it back with new people?
Yeah, because I lived with him during that time, so yeah. I mean, yeah,
like
he was already
before you made the video. Wow.
Yeah, and Crystal Flame was one of them that he mentioned. Yeah,
that's
who was a
crazy.
popular YouTuber. Yeah,
right.
It's gross, and that's when I really got pissed with him, because I was like, I was already sad because I was like, dude, you don't care that Kyle's upset with you, and like now he's out of this channel that we all built together, like you. Like, and Shannon and all these people. I'm like, what? Like, bro, like what? We're ending our channel right now, but like he always saw it as like, we're not actually ending it.
Yeah.
Right. And people hated that video too, and I think it's because they all could tell that like it was just something was wrong with it, and that's
it. Definitely had a sketchy.
It looked like Alex and I were pissed at him for sure. I think.
Yeah, it's almost one of those things where like I can't even explain why it was a weird video, but it just something about just the air in the room seemed weird.
It was bad,
not normal. Yeah.
And yeah, so he uploaded it. I was having a panic attack that whole day. I remember like freaking out.
Yeah.
But like that led to me just pretty much moving out of that apartment like early, and just kind of like he was very manipulative, but I was just like, I can't support you right now, dude. Like this is too dark. You like trying to bring back this channel, and just and it got to the point where he like took that as, okay, well, I'm going to do it without you then, because you don't want to be a part of it. Mm-hmm. Instead of realizing that I'm just like, don't fucking do it. He was like, oh, well, you're giving me consent to do it, but just not with you.
Wow.
Because I brought it to you. So like, you know, that's how he took it. And I was like, dude, I literally was there since I posted the first video on it. I made the trailer. I like,
yeah, like in a
I was just as much of a part of it as he was.
Dude, it's like, you know, I'm sure Bryan could try to pull some like, oh, I made you, Johnny, kind of shit. But it's like, dude, in a way, like you
brought the new life to him too.
You did a lot for him too, just as much for him. Like none of that shit. Like how big?
It's just so weird. It's just so weird. As if you're friends with someone, you just don't think like that.
No, you shouldn't. If you're like a person who is empathetic and has like feelings. You know.
Yeah, so it got to the point where Alex and I were like, Bryan was already bringing it back. I don't remember what happened, but I remember Alex was crying and I was crying, and we were like,
that's so sad.
And I was calling him and I was like, dude, like stop. And I think it was the day that we made our video like hating on MDE, and
because he announced, right?
Yeah,
that
he announced. I think he did the announcement trailer, and that was our protest, because I was like, dude, I called him. I was like, and I called him before that too, and I was like, dude, if you do this, I have to make a video like being like, I don't approve of this. Yeah. And that kind of became the thing of like everyone else becoming like a team almost over him at that point, because
right. And that's when the real you know, anti BryanStars internet shit show happened, because
it's fucked up. I mean, he literally took and he logged everyone out, and then like he took something that was a business and a thing that we all built together, and like he valued himself higher than everyone else. And that's really horrible, and I still don't think he feels that bad about it, honestly.
That's crazy. That's crazy, because it's almost like that kind of thing was bound to happen to him at some point. If it didn't happen because of him trying to restart MDE,
he would have done something else that would have got him into this.
Because
I mean, I tried to talk to him as a friend. I literally was like doing anything I can, and then the worst part that happened is Alex and I felt both so stuck with it that we didn't do anything. So our last thing to protest with was removing our videos, but not even just privating them, because we didn't have access. We were like, we're going to physically delete them. So we deleted every single video that we had, including one of my music videos at the time that was on there. Yeah.
No shit.
Millions. When we deleted it, it lost like 50 million views on that channel.
Wow.
All of our videos. But
because you guys were still under Bryan's management.
We just didn't want Bryan he already was taking the channel, and we didn't trust him, so we didn't want to have him make money off our videos.
Yeah,
and we felt like if we privated them, he could have just brought them back. But
totally, that's honestly like a smart move, I think. I mean, it sucks to get rid of all that everything
Yeah.
you worked for, because that's another aspect of all this. It's like, dude, you and all those other, all the other MDE people, y'all worked so hard.
Oh, we did, yeah.
Y'all put like y'all moved, y'all put your whole lives,
I mean, I
like
was working
time
as
and
hard as
energy.
Bryan, and I was so much younger than him. I mean, like, not,
Yeah.
I mean, besides the managing stuff, but like, yeah.
Right. And also, Bryan's an adult and
Yeah.
obviously doesn't understand like human interaction that well, or other
No,
people's
yeah.
feelings or
Like an
whatever. But
alien.
yeah, and he's off doing all this shit. But you guys, y'all were like fucking literal like children going through all this shit, which, we see it happen so many times to, a lot of
Yeah, I was probably
bands. Like,
19 during that time, I think.
yeah, and that's the same age that like, a lot of like, for example, I'm working on a series about Asking Alexandria right now.
Yeah.
And Danny Worsnop was like 19 or 20 when it was experiencing a weirdly similar level of fame to you, maybe on a different, and that was when he was going completely off the rails. Like in his story, he like, like drugs, drinking, he basically
those
like
guys
lost.
are wild. Yeah.
They are wild, but it's like they talk about it now, and it's they talk about it how it's like it was really just because they were under so much pressure from obviously going through that type of fame at a young age is difficult.
Yeah.
Dealing with the all the scumbaggery that goes on in the industry, and people like Bryan, I'm sure there's plenty of BryanStars out there.
Absolutely, unfortunately.
Yeah, so it's like, I don't know if people give you guys enough credit for like how everyone except Bryan, like the sort of situation that you guys were going through and all that. Like that must have been fucking rough, man.
Yeah, I mean, it was horrible for me, especially because I mean, I had a lot of my friends like really mad at him, and I still wanted to like ride it out with him because like he was there for so long, and I was like, we got to fix this though. We got to fix this. And it kept on giving him chances, and it would like bite me in the back a little bit. And he always never reciprocated it. And it just, it really sucked. I was like, I really put my neck out for him for like so long, even to the point where after that, and not too long ago, I gave him a chance to be my friend again. And then he fucking started being weird again. So I stopped.
Right.
But yeah, we'll get into that later.
Yeah. So I guess if there's anything else you want to talk about with the sort of the end of MDE, I know that you guys split off and kind of did your own like sort of collab channel.
Our World Away. Yeah.
Right.
It was pretty much trying to do MDE without Bryan and trying just to do it. And it lasted like a year and a half or a year. Yeah. And it was good for the most part. But then like people in the group started having a little bit of issues with each other. And then it just like when one of them kind of went, it was like, all right, we're like not going to. Right. Like we're this feels weird trying to continue without it. It's just it didn't work for us, so we just gave up on a permanent hiatus. So it's okay though. I think it mostly went better than MDE did though, and it wasn't sexual videos like we were doing back then. So at least that was good.
Yeah, because then it's kind of like, well, at least you have something that's still from that era to look back on. That's not like tainted by BryanStars and has all this sketchy like you know, you and Kyle making out or whatever. Like you have something to look back on that's like, well, this is how we would have done it if we weren't being jerked around.
I totally think so, honestly. And I think it would have ended eventually, but like, I mean, I think it mostly went better. And you could definitely see that people were more like comfortable with the videos they were making on that channel. It was still like,
right.
It gets hard because you're like trying to do it as like everyone's trying to be on their time and all that, but yeah, it was a good try.
That's good. Okay, so I'm gonna go pee one more time.
Yeah.
and then after that, I guess we'll just do like kind of the final, like just kind of what's going on now and some other
fun, there's still plenty to talk about.
So. Yeah, word. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, cool. I'll be right back. Thanks for talking to me for so long, man. I appreciate it. I like to do
deep dives.
I like to go in depth. I
do too. Yeah. I mean, your videos are like 3 parts usually. So I love it. It's great.
And I feel like for you too, there's a lot of like people kind of know about all this stuff, but there's
so much more. Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of just like, I'm like, someone needs to sit down with this guy and fucking really like.
Well, I mean, even with the breakup with the collab channel, like people don't know that like how difficult it was me trying to like get across hey, you're my friend, but like also like I gotta say fuck you to this. Like people kind of know, but they don't really. There's so many
Yeah.
like different like things. Or like
It's
Brian defending Austin. I was always around this stuff. It was like
yeah, and it's
uncomfortable.
that weird line of mixing business with friendship
Yeah.
doesn't always work. Sometimes it
No,
works
people get
great,
lost
but
in the sauce. I think that's all it is. And
yeah, which happens in the world we're living in, unfortunately.
yeah.
All
All right, go to the restroom. Yeah, I've been waiting for someone to do a deep dive on me like this. Honestly.
Dude, I'm happy that I'm the fucking one to do it, man. Seriously,
Yeah.
thank you so much. Like this is awesome because it's cool too for me because I don't really like, you know, I I do YouTube videos and stuff, but for some reason, most of the people that I'm like homies with or have become homies with are like musicians and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I don't really.
Yeah, I think people respect your videos a lot from what I've
Thank
seen.
you. I appreciate that. And there definitely are like YouTubers that I've become homies with, but I don't get to like talk to people like in the YouTube world as much. So it's like really cool. And you know,
Yeah.
I mean, we pretty much exist in the same like
time frame.
yeah. So it's cool it's just cool to talk to you, man, and hear about this stuff. And it's like
same.
Yeah.
Very much likewise. Where do we go from here now?
All right. So take some water. All right. So I kind of want to start. There's still more to talk about, but you know, I kind of want to start wrapping this up a little bit. I guess where I want to go now is like so MDE's over. The second collab channel that you did was eventually over.
Yeah.
And I mean for you, it seems lately you're kind of taking your music stuff a little bit more seriously. You're still doing YouTube and like streaming and stuff.
Yeah. Same old.
Yeah. So what is you're just like chilling like
what am I currently up to?
Yeah. Also like one thing I want to know, what does like a day in the life of Johnnie Guilbert look like? What do you like? You don't have to get too in depth, but
do you think I do crazy stuff or something?
I just think that you're like you almost seem like kind of like a mythical creature to me, man.
Yeah.
Like I feel like you do open up on social media a lot, but also I feel like you keep a lot of things kind of private, like just about your. Maybe I'm wrong.
Not too private, but yeah. I honestly, a day in the life of me is pretty. It's whatever I want it to be because I'm kind of like chill. Like I don't have a traditional job, so I kind of just like.
Yeah.
Can do whatever.
Is this still how you support yourself? Like YouTube?
Yeah, this is it. So just YouTube, music, and all that crap. I'm trying to work on a merch store right now. I've been like building that.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I mostly nowadays I'm just writing music. I'm really trying to get into that, and we're finally one of the things I'm really up to right now. I have a new song with my band Till Death Do We Part. We're like it started off as a MySpace kind of throwback thing, but now we've been trying to figure out how we're gonna grow from that, and we've made a new rock song and we're trying to go like more rock direction with it.
That's cool.
So that's coming out this month and that's exciting. And then it's kind of like I was trying to do like my side thing, like how Chris did with Eat Me While I'm Hot. I'm like, all right,
hell yeah.
Like, I need something to let out like a different side of me.
Exactly.
And with my solo music, I have a new song that I just finished that I'm stoked on, and I got 7 songs I'm gonna be doing soon in the studio that I did my first 2 EPs.
Right on. Cool.
That have done like Mayday parades and all that.
Yo, yeah, I was literally just gonna say you worked with what are their names? Kenneth.
DK, yeah. Kenneth, yeah.
Dude, they're as far as
they did like the Ready Set and a lot of those great artists.
Dude, they're legends as far as neon pop punk is concerned. I mean, fucking Mayday Parade, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm blanking on bands.
They've done some stuff. All
Time Low. That band Every Avenue, I think.
We Are the Crowd.
All that shit. That's like. Yeah, that's cool. That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Really cool guys too. Yeah.
Right on.
So I'm planning on doing that, and I'm gonna try to do 2 features on it. So that's exciting. I'm just trying to keep this music stuff kind of going and like trying to. I mean, people say like, "Oh, emo's dead, rock's dead." I'm like, I don't fucking care. I like, who cares? Listen to it if you fuck with it. If you don't, then like, don't. I mean, look at MGK right now, though. Like, I mean, it's not the same, but look at he's killing it.
Well, here's one thing. I mean, like, people say that, and like, yeah, I
I've
mean,
been saying that for 10 years.
yeah, but I think this is something where like you and I have in common of like, I'm this is just what I like me
Yeah.
personally. I you
Yeah.
know,
People always look at me and they're like, what got you into that? That's like the first thing they say. And I'm like, I don't know, what got you into looking the way you dress? It's literally the
yeah,
same. There's no
it's just
difference.
right.
There's no difference. People like try to separate people so much, but like I'm just a dude that happens to dress a certain way, just the
Yeah,
same way that I could dress the exact same way you're dressing. So
right.
yeah, it's so funny to me. People act like we're like aliens sometimes with what we like.
Right. Or people act like it's weird that like I'm 24 and I
Yeah.
still listen to like old All Time Low all the time or whatever.
I know.
And
Stop age shaming us.
stop age shaming us, dude. That's like if I want to like one
So
thing
dumb.
I'm trying to do, man, just in general is be like, yo, you can be like an older motherfucker
Yeah.
and like love Forever the Sickest Kids genuinely and not have it be, it's not weird, it's music, it's like,
yeah, the only ones that are weird are the weird pedophile ones.
exactly.
Which there's too many of.
There's too many of. Yeah, that's the thing. If you're running
That's
around,
the one thing we got on our name as alternative kids.
Oh, I hate how but it's true. There has been
enticed into it, unfortunately.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I'm trying to outweigh these motherfuckers who are like 28 and they look like, they're still.
I don't understand either, because like people are judging me for what I listen to, which is like a song about like drug addiction or suicide usually. Yeah. And then they're fucking listening to 6ix9ine talking about fucking pussy.
Yeah,
like,
dude. Right.
And like flexing his money, like, which is fine if you like it, whatever.
Right.
But there's like there's other artists too. But I mean, like I feel like what we listen to, I mean, it's a lot of the lyrics as well that connect with me. Like
totally.
It's like, okay, I can relate to that topic. So
right.
I don't know what's cringy about relating to suicidal feelings or losing a friend.
Right. Exactly.
I never understood that. Why would I outgrow that?
No, it's so true, man. It's so true. And it's also like, why is it almost like this, like something that people think is cringe? Like, why is it cringe to still love the music you loved when you were 14?
I mean, listen to like, people are like, with MCR or whatever, there's a reason why people like that band so much. If you listen to it now, that's just good music. Why
exactly, dude.
It doesn't have an expiration date.
No, and
it doesn't.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, I want there to be more of a wave of like just people who are into that music, and like
I've definitely seen like a lot of these like TikTok kids getting into the alternative scene and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that's like a lot of the new wave.
Right.
But what I've been talking, like, I mean, a lot of them are just growing up on like the stuff that was even old when we were listening to it a little bit. Like,
totally.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, because there's not really that many rock bands anymore, and Warped Tour is dead right now. So
yeah, there's
no Never Shall Never right now, like too much. Like there's none of these bands really going at it.
Yeah, it's interesting because there's definitely, especially on TikTok and
no MDE.
Like no MDE. We're even in the post. Like MDE is old
Johnny
school
here
now,
in his
dude.
Bedroom.
It's funny though, because I feel like
Destry got called out. It's like, oh, okay.
Yep. See,
that's another YouTuber gone.
That's another guy. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I wanna show people that like, yo, like me and Johnnie Guilbert we're in our like 20s loving the shit, but we're not all like Destry Smiths. We're not all Austin. Like you can fucking like I'm sick of these motherfuckers coming in here giving the shit
making
a bad
us look
name.
Bad.
Yeah, exploiting, using it to fucking do their like diabolical plans.
I totally agree. Yeah,
it's like, dude,
I mean, there's like, hey, look at D Fizzy and us. Like we're cool.
Yeah, it's like I just love this fucking music, man. I just love music. I'm not even just saying that. Like
I get it.
I'm sick of the reputation it has. I'm sick of that it's simultaneously people always think of like pedophiles, because
it all started with Blow on the Dance Floor, man.
Oh yeah, oh god. Anyway, man,
do we have anything else we really want to get into?
I just kind of wanted to ask about I guess just kind of a last word on the BryanStars tip. I'm curious about.
Oh, I didn't even tell you about me becoming friends with him and why I stopped.
So yeah, dude. Okay, so well, the two things I want to get into. One, if you have any more like weird Bryan stories that you wanna
Yeah.
tell me, let's get into that. And also, yeah. So Bryan, I guess maybe we'll talk about this first, and then after this we can like I don't know. I want to go eat dinner or something. Or whatever,
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah.
or whatever. But so okay, so My Digital Escape ends. Bryan
Yeah.
tries to bring it back. Bryan
Mhm.
basically gets canceled because all of
Yeah.
y'all are like, yo, and then the rest of the internet is like, oh shit, you
Yeah.
know, Bryan
He
gets
tries
exposed.
a little bit on his own for a while, and then he kind of vanishes and just manages people from behind the scenes for a
Yeah.
while.
So is that what he's doing now? Is he?
I think what he does now is mostly stocks. He messes in the stock game. He's a stock guy.
Because I heard a rumor, I forget where I heard this, but someone told me, probably not the most reliable source. I forget who even told me this, but someone told me that he's like managing bands or artists behind the scenes nowadays. And
No,
because in my head I'm like,
not that I know of.
who the fuck, what bands
He
wants to work with
he
that dude nowadays? Like
back in the day.
everyone knows about him, but now
Yeah, back in the day he managed like some small bands, like
yeah,
up and coming, but like no, not I don't think he does that anymore at all.
he just does like stocks and shit, or
Stocks
does
and
he
like
work? Does he have a
I don't know if
job?
no.
Like a real?
I mean, he probably made a lot of money off of everyone in the MD tour and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
I think he was already doing pretty well money besides that. Yeah, I think he's pretty decent right now. But uh yeah, so I became friends with him again though after a while though. I like try to give him a second chance.
Like in 2019, you said?
2019, yeah, that sounds about right. 2020, something like that. Yeah,
Interesting.
2020. One of
So
those
kind
years.
of that's recent.
Yeah,
Kinda.
like a year ago.
What was
It
that
was
like? Did you meet up with him in person,
Yeah, I
or?
hung out with him for like a couple times, and I was just trying to let go, because he was a good friend of mine. I was trying to like see if I could like grow past it, and it was good for a while. And
Was he excited to see you, or was it weird?
yeah, he was excited, but he always was like, he was always wanting alone time with me when we would be with other friends. He would always like try to like be like, oh, Johnny, like, and I are gonna go hang out in my room, like, or
That's
like
weird.
we were gonna go to this museum or whatever for Tim Burton, but I was like inviting our other friends, and he got mad that I invited them.
That's odd.
Yeah, I made a fit of it, and I was like,
I don't even. It's like
why
I
does
don't
that
know.
why does that matter? I was just wanting to go, and I was like, why not invite our friends that we're cool with? Like,
Yeah, that's another thing where it's like I don't know why that's weird, but that's weird.
that sounds like crushy shit.
Yeah.
And so pretty much I had him in my Welcome to Hell video though. He wore like the Grim Reaper clothing,
Oh,
which is kind of
wow.
funny that he's like evil.
Yeah, I need to watch. Do you see his face in it?
No, you can just
yeah.
it's just his body, and like that's
That's
why
funny.
he was okay with doing it. But like I was trying to see like past it though. I was trying to hear his perspective. He was still pretty like he was awkward towards it. He was never like letting his guard down, never being really real.
Yeah.
We would smoke weed a lot together, so that's what was cool.
Whoa, he smokes. he did not do that back in the day, right?
No, just drinking back in the day.
Well, I feel like it's good that he smokes weed now because
Yeah.
weed.
I think weed's good for most people, so it's cool, man.
I think if you've had a past like BryanStars and you're that kind of dude,
Yeah, you need some weed.
weed will be the thing that connects you to reality, bro.
Yeah, no hate on that for sure.
No, yeah. So he's just kind of like, did you like directly bring up anything, or was like?
I have, yeah, and it was just like he was just like not able to like still be like how I wanted him to be with it though. Like he was always like really like guarded and just not very like he didn't get my perspective very much. I don't think.
That's
like he would kind of bullshit me a lot, but like so that kind of bothered me. But he was we still were trying to be nice to each other, but he would always try to victimize himself a lot in the situation.
Yeah.
And be like, well, it was like this for me. I'm like,
yeah,
you're a fucking grown man, dude.
It was
like,
hard for me too. Meanwhile, he's taking 20% from each of you. It's like, real hard for you.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm fucking I should have made a lot more money, but whatever. It's okay.
Is he like? Well, I guess the first question: does he still have the scene hair? What's he looking like?
No, he's got his curly hair again.
Okay.
So he's pretty tall guy, but he's just pretty pasty curly hair guy.
Yeah. Is he back to like This is such a weird question, but like,
Aeropostale.
what was his outfit? What was he wearing? I'm
Uh,
curious, man.
I think he's just like kind of like it's pretty normal, pretty average. Like it was like
yeah,
it wasn't like kind of like how he was dressing like his last few videos, but without like seeing hair.
yeah,
So
okay, interesting.
yeah,
And
yeah.
is he like, I don't know, because is he like sad at all? Like about
I didn't get that vibe anymore. No, he
yeah,
doesn't seem very sad actually. Like
because
I mean,
he's
he's a human, so he probably gets sad, even though he feels like a robot sometimes.
totally
But
yeah, yeah.
but
But it's just
he didn't seem like that sad. He was able to have fun for sure. We had some
totally.
good times again, but what ended the relationship for me was I forgot his birthday once,
Oh
and he got really mad, like almost like how a girlfriend would be if you forgot their birthday. And I was like, dude,
yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, what else can I do? And he was just
Oh
being
right.
really weird, and I was like, and it was just like everything. And I started thinking about like the past stuff, like him looking at my DMs with my ex, and like
Yeah.
so the money stuff. And I was like, this guy's just not a good dude. Like,
He's
that's
not a
like,
good
why am I
dude.
giving him, like, why am I forgiving him? And then he's like, I think he's into me too. Like, not in a
Dude,
rude way, but like,
hearing all these things to me, I'm like it sounds
which
like
is,
he's kind of into you.
which is weird because I'm like, you know, he's known me since I was 16 or so. Like, you know, like that's
Yeah.
not okay. Whether he
No.
did something or not, it's still not okay. It's weird.
It's
Uh,
almost like it could have
grooming
been
kind of vibes. Yeah.
dude, it's almost like it could have been a grooming situation, but he's
Yeah.
like such an idiot that he doesn't even know how, like
Mhm.
he couldn't figure out how to do that.
He's
I
like,
don't know.
fuck.
I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah.
But it got to that point and I was just like, dude, Brian, I can't be your friend anymore. Like, you're acting like I'm like your boyfriend or whatever. I'm gonna block you like I did because he was like acting like I have to like give him all my time and shit. It was like really
Yeah.
too much instead of being a friend and just like what if I was sad that day and that's why I didn't message him. It's like
Right, right. It's like
yeah. What if like
it's
my mom died or something like something horrible? Like it's like he doesn't know what's going on in my
exactly.
life.
Yeah, and
So
it's that type of shit is still very me.
yeah,
I'm the
and
victim, like
almost like
which
doing it like I'm like trying to hurt him and I'm like no, I wasn't trying to hurt you. I just forgot I'm human.
yeah,
Like how I'm
exactly.
trying to see that you're human even though you've hurt me in a lot of ways. Um,
Right. Yeah, it seems like there's maybe still
So
no
I realized at
self-awareness.
that point I was just like not healthy, and I blocked him on everything, and I
Yeah.
said like if you're gonna say my name, say it publicly,
Right.
and that's it. So I
Yeah,
said I
dude.
wouldn't talk about him anymore, but then I realized over time I'm like, no, he's a part of my life. I'm gonna talk about him.
Yeah,
So
exactly. And it's also like I said too, like he's not, I mean, I don't know if you talk to him like when you start hanging out again about his like him vanishing from I mean, it's obvious
yeah,
why he vanished from the internet, but
yeah.
like it's like for me I'm like, he might get mad at you for talking about this, but I'm like, dude, he can come on here and defend himself. He can get on
Yeah, I
Twitter
mean,
and if he
there's
wants.
literally nothing he can say besides like trying to twist things. And
Yeah.
I mean, he could say like maybe like, oh, well, Johnny said like this fucked up joke once when he was like 10. Okay, like that. All he can like he can't deny the fact of the horrible things he's done, and like all he can do is own up to them, but
Yeah, because
still hasn't.
it's not like you're making any of this shit up, dude. Like this is
No,
like
I mean,
real
literally, there's
life.
so many people that were around during this time, so yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty much it, though. I mean, like that, yeah, like
He,
that's kind of the end of him. I just kind of dropped him, and I don't know. That's all really.
well, that's probably a good thing, man. It's
Yeah, I think
probably
that's the
best
end of
to,
it.
yeah. I mean, do you know if he has any plans of like returning to the internet
I doubt it.
yeah?
I, I don't think so. I don't think he'll do any interviews or anything, honestly. I tried to get him to do a podcast, which I'm glad I never did because it would have been me trying to make him look good, like as a friend.
Yeah,
But I tried to
yeah.
be like, dude, like, you know, try to show your side. Like I always wanted him to like, you know, like people can forgive you. Um, you know, because like I mean, for me it
I've
makes sense
always,
because I know how to
yeah,
like I know how to talk to people and be like, hey guys, I fucked up. I'm sorry. Like,
yeah,
you know, I know how to like do that, but he doesn't know how to do that.
yeah.
So
Because and I've talked about this with people. Like, if he came on and made a
yeah.
video or something,
He's just not
and
authentic and real though. That's his problem with it. He
yeah,
doesn't.
he's
He's
not
too
real
guarded.
enough to be like, listen, y'all, straight up, person to person, I fucked up. Like, I got
Yeah.
lost in the sauce. I'm sure if he came back and made a really genuine thing, like,
I
I
just
don't
don't know
think,
if he can do it though. That's the thing.
yeah,
So, and
right,
I
right.
don't think he wants to. Whenever I talked to him about it though, he was just like super like just like fuck it, like no, like da da da. So I'm like, all
Yeah.
right, whatever, dude. So
Does he keep up with like YouTube still? Does he watch people
mm,
or?
I'm sure he does, but he mostly doesn't keep up with the alternative scene as much. But I mean, at
Yeah.
least that's what he told me. But I'm sure he kind of does more than he admits. Because like
Yeah.
he has accounts, you know, that aren't like, you know, that he like
Yeah.
uses that are like probably not BryanStars accounts that he looks at stuff. So
Totally.
it's kind of hard not to like be interested in what's going on. Like I'm sure he's gonna see this and
Yeah.
bitch to his friends about me or something, but whatever. You know? I'm
Like,
not trying to be a dick to him. I'm just trying to, you know, this is true, dude. Like you did all this stuff.
From my perspective, I said it already and I'll say it again. You're not making any of this stuff up. It's not like you're trying to slander him. You're just telling your experience. If he wants to, he's
a big part of it. So
he's a big part of it. And if he wants to, you know, he can.
Yeah,
Bryan, Bryan, you can hit me up, bro, if you want to tell your side of things.
One of the weird things when I was younger and living with him in Nebraska, he would never tell his parents or anyone that I lived with him. He would like hide it. Yeah. So Damon remembers like when his parents came to Warped Tour and met me, it was their first time meeting me. So they were like, and Damon was like, wait, you don't know them? Like,
yeah, because you're already living with Bryan.
Yeah, I was already living, but he wouldn't admit that. I was like, dude, if you just tell them like how it was, that would be like normal, but
that's weird.
Yeah. So he would be like, when he would try to get me to drink with him, he'd be like, I can't hang out with my friends because no one knows you live here or whatever. Besides, you know, so like,
I wonder, wow.
Kind of, but like, I mean, yeah, it's weird. So he would try to get me to drink with him because of that. So
it seems like there's so many of these things that are like, even just things that you told me about, like right now, they're red flags, but like I don't know why they're red flags, but I know that they are. Like I do like things. I mean,
trying to get a 15-year-old to drink with you in any context is cringe, especially like and like not telling your parents that they live with you. It's like, why are you making it weirder than it should be?
Right.
If you just like explained it, it would be less weird, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, maybe him being like
in the closet
had something to, or just the fact that you were 15. I mean,
yeah. I mean, it's a lot of weird, but it's
and we would never really know unless Bryan were here. Like,
I don't think he would be able to really give much of an explanation either.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I mean, unless there's any other like.
No, that's pretty much that.
Yeah,
that's a big part of it. Damn.
That's crazy.
Good luck editing this.
Right, I might just fucking like chop out the
part or some shit. I don't fucking know.
I mean, the last one I did was like 3 hours long, and I basically just chopped out the pee breaks and put it up.
Yeah.
But this one I might chop it up a little bit more because I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna
do. Yeah.
Make it say something totally different than what I'm saying.
I'll like deep fake you, and I'll be like, me and BryanStars are like.
Our best buds.
Yeah, he did nothing wrong. I'll make it like Johnnie Guilbert defends BryanStars. Yeah. He did nothing wrong.
Bringing back MDE 3.0. Shit.
But it's
actually YouTubers 2022.
Yeah, and then you go online next week, and me and BryanStars are doing MDE 3.0, and we're like, haha, fuck all y'all.
That'd be a good video.
That'd be a good sketch comedy thing, I think. Well,
all right, man.
Anyways,
well, I guess that's it. Thanks for talking to me. Thanks for listening.
Yeah. Thanks for sitting down with me, man.
Thanks to all the viewers for listening. If you're listening still.
Yeah. Thank you for being on this wild ride with us. Yo, Bryan, I want to talk to you, man.
Oh God. All right, I'll watch.
Maybe
I'm sure I'll have something to say about it.
Oh man. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Nice meeting you, man.
You too, dude. Have a good night.
Have a good one. Peace.
See you.